And yeah, well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July.
Most fighters are retired by the time they are 46 years old and either enjoy the peace and quiet or work from the commentator's booth. He's not Manny "PacMan" Pacquiao, though. The legendary 8-division world winner is once again going against the odds and age. Getting back in the ring for a big return fight against Mario Barrios, a rising welterweight star, Pacquiao is showing that his speed, focus, and warrior spirit haven't changed over time in his tough training camp. This is more than just a fight for Pacquiao. He wants to make amends and leave a lasting memory. Telling the world that greatness doesn't have an end date is what it means. As an old man, if you like this, please subscribe Punch Vista and click the bell icon for more latest and interesting videos.
I said I did it, my nigga, now watch me do all year. Yeah, down it. That nigga, they fear. To them, fear. Feeling shows, fucking hoes, me making it.
Eddie Hearn thinks that Manny Pacquiao still has the skills to beat most welterweight athletes who aren't in the top 15 to 20. He agrees that Pacquiao's shape has gotten worse with age and lack of movement, but he stresses that Pacquiao is still a tough opponent because of his experience and ring smarts. Hearn also says that professionally, Pacquiao's return makes sense, especially against opponents like Mario Barrios, who are good but not as good as Terence Crawford or Jaron Boots. However, Hearn warns that Pacquiao's long absence from the ring could affect his performance, suggesting that a return is possible but should be handled carefully.
147, kind of a weird spot right now. We're looking at Manny Pacquiao potentially facing Mario Barrios. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, I think that, it's a very contentious subject. Like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots. And Barrios is not Crawford, and that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Manny Pacquiao's last professional bout was in August 2021, where he faced Yordenis Ugas and experienced a unanimous decision loss. Since then, he has been missing from the ring. Promoter Eddie Hearn has stated that prolonged inactivity can be detrimental, especially for aging athletes. While Pacquiao's desire to return is commendable, the physical demands of boxing at the top level are considerable. At 46, the challenges of regaining peak physical condition and competing against younger, active opponents are important. Nonetheless, Pacquiao's extensive knowledge and ring intelligence could still make him a formidable presence in the welterweight division. His comeback against Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title in July 2025 underscores his enduring ambition to fight at the sport's pinnacle. However, the outcome of such a return remains unclear given the rigorous demands of professional boxing and the natural effects of aging. In September 2021, Manny Pacquiao announced his retirement from boxing to focus on his political career, especially his candidacy for the Philippine presidency in the 2022 elections. At 42, following a unanimous decision loss to Yordenis Ugas, Pacquiao accepted the physical toll of the sport, citing leg cramps during the fight as a sign of his body's limitations. Despite his passion for boxing, he understood the need to prioritize his health and political commitments. In his retirement announcement, Pacquiao expressed gratitude for the sport that lifted him from poverty and helped him to inspire others. He stated, "It is tough for me to accept that my time as a boxer is over. Today, I am announcing my retirement." His choice marked the end of a 26-year career, during which he became the only boxer to win world titles in 8 different weight divisions.
2015, remember that one. Pacquiao is now planning to run for president in his native Philippines this upcoming May. But Shannon, how will you remember Manny as a boxer?
Historically great fighter.
Good for you.
The only fighter to win 8 world titles. I mean, he started out boxing, he was 106 pounds, won a title at, I think, 112, and went all the way up to
108 first.
Went all the way up to 154.
It's impossible. It's just...
I feel very comfortable and said I don't believe we'll ever see that again, Skip.
We'll never see it again.
And it wasn't like he was fighting bums. When you go back and look at Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales and Oscar Larios and De La Hoya and Hatton and Cotto, Margarita, Mosley, Timothy Bradley, Mayweather. Skip. I mean, what do you got to say? He was a champion in 4 different decades.
Yep.
Fighter of the year. First ballot Hall of Fame. He's great. He fought everybody.
Stephen A. Smith shared his thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's retirement in a brief video segment, showing great respect for Pacquiao's illustrious career. He highlighted Pacquiao's remarkable achievements, including his status as an 8-division world champion and his significant effect on the sport of boxing. Smith emphasized Pacquiao's unique ability to inspire fans worldwide, not only through his athletic prowess, but also through his humility and dedication outside the fight. Manny Pacquiao is set to make a remarkable return to professional boxing at the age of 46, meeting WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in July 2025. This bout marks Pacquiao's first professional fight since his 2021 loss to Yordenis Ugas. Despite a 4-year hiatus, Pacquiao aims to add another title to his illustrious career, which includes championships in 8 different weight classes. The fight is set to take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on July 19, 2025, pending the outcome of Pacquiao's Senate re-election campaign in the Philippines on May 12th. Barrios, 29, holds a professional record of 29 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw with 18 knockouts. He became the WBC interim welterweight champion after defeating Ugas in September 2023 and was elevated to full champion rank in June 2024 following Terence Crawford's move to the 154 lb division. Barrios maintained his title in a split draw against Abel Ramos in November 2024. Pacquiao's return has generated mixed reactions within the boxing world. Some fans are excited to see the legendary boxer back in action, while others voiced concern about his ability to compete at a high level after such a long break. WBC President Mauricio Sulayan supported Pacquiao's right to challenge for a title, referencing the organization's rules that allow famous former champions to request title fights upon returning from retirement. The fight against Barrios is not just about the title. It represents Pacquiao's enduring reputation in the sport. Known for his relentless fighting style and ability to overcome challenges, Pacquiao's return to the ring could serve as a testament to his commitment to boxing. Even as he navigates the complexities of his political career, if victorious, Pacquiao would become the oldest welterweight champion in boxing history, further cementing his standing as one of the sport's all-time greats.
In a world title fight against the WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios, Date yet to be confirmed. Venue yet to be confirmed, but it looks like it will be in July and in Las Vegas. Yeah, massive news announced yesterday by the WBC president, and you know, it was so out of left field. You know, Pacquiao hasn't fought professionally since 2021. That was 4 years ago. He was 41 at the time, and of course he lost to Yordenis Ugas, the very, very tricky Cuban fighter. Convincingly lost to Yordenis Ugas, and in that fight 4 years ago, as I say,
A trainer, Greg Hackett, didn't hold back when giving his take on Manny Pacquiao's shocking return against Mario Barrios. Hackett, speaking frankly, said that if this fight had happened several years ago, Pacquiao would have easily handled Barrios. But now the case is different. Hackett stressed that this version of Pacquiao is far removed from the explosive fighter fans remember. At 45, the Filipino legend isn't supposed to have the same speed, endurance, or killer instinct. Hackett called this bout a money fight and not a serious clash between two peak athletes. It's more of a spectacle, he says.
Sound like Pacquiao trying to hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like on shit like that. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he could make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
The Filipino icon is set to face WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in July, marking his first professional match since August 2021. The fight was confirmed by WBC President Mauricio Sulian, who called it a great fight while speaking to Boxing King Media. For boxing fans around the world, this is an important event. As one of the sport's all-time great steps back into the spotlight, Pacquiao's last showing in the ring ended in a unanimous decision loss to Yordenis Ugas. Shortly after, he announced his retirement from professional boxing to focus on his political career, including an unsuccessful run for the president of the Philippines in 2022. During his time away from the sport, he stayed active in public service and philanthropy. While rumors of a potential comeback continue to circulate, the upcoming bout against Mario Barrios is important for many reasons. Barrios is a skilled and powerful fighter currently holding the prestigious green and gold WBC title. For Pacquiao, it's not just a comeback, it's a chance to make history once again. If successful, he would become the oldest welterweight champion in boxing history, further adding to his legendary resume. This fight also sparks talk about whether elite-level fighters can defy age and time. While some question the physical toll such a comeback might take, others think Pacquiao's ring IQ, experience, and conditioning still make him a threat to younger contenders. Regardless of the result, Pacquiao's return is already a major moment in the boxing world, reigniting excitement among his global fan base and adding a new chapter to an already iconic career. Speculation is heating up that Manny Pacquiao's upcoming fight with Mario Barrios may be more than just a comeback. It could be a planned move toward one last mega fight. Rumors are swirling that if Pacquiao defeats Barrios and takes the WBC welterweight title, he may set his eyes on Gervonta Tank Davis, one of boxing's biggest current stars. The potential clash between Pacquiao, a living legend, and Davis, a knockout artist in his prime, would be a massive pay-per-view event generating world attention. This has led many fans and analysts to question whether Barrios was chosen strategically. While Barrios is a solid champion, he's not seen as an unbeatable force in the class. Some say Pacquiao's team views him as a winnable fight, tough enough to legitimize the comeback, but manageable for a well-prepared Pacquiao. The theory goes that a win here would not only earn Pacquiao another world title, but also set the perfect narrative for a high-stakes generational showdown with Davis. If the rumor proves true, Pacquiao's comeback could be far more than a farewell. It could be the opening act of a carefully crafted path toward one final blockbuster fight. For now, all eyes are on July and whether the hero can turn back time once again.
So basically, your interpretation is that the boxing public is upset because they believe Pacquiao's going to beat Barrios, which is going to lead to a Tank Pacquiao fight?
Yes, look around. Look in the Discord. That's what everybody, Pac and Tank, that's being set up.
Oh,
Tank
so,
and Pac.
okay, so they saying Barrios is the setup for Tank and Pac. I didn't see that, but your argument makes sense. If he beats Barrios, there's nothing wrong with him fighting Tank. But the issue is he don't deserve the Barrios fight off of 3 years off and a loss to Ugas.
Next, cry me a river, man. That's what boxing is. But longer deserve a Canelo.
If Pacquiao does beat Barrios, a potential showdown with Davis could quickly become one of the most anticipated fights in recent boxing history. The story writes itself. Two explosive southpaws from different times, both known for their knockout power, speed, and charisma, clashing under the brightest lights. On one side, you have Pacquiao, the 8-division world champion and global icon, returning to show he still belongs at the elite level. On the other hand, Gervonta Davis, the undefeated powerhouse and one of the sport's present top draws, is hungry to add a legend's name to his resume. The fight would transcend the sport, attracting not only hardcore boxing fans but also popular, media, and casual viewers. With both fighters having huge fan bases and strong pay-per-view appeal, the bout would likely become a global event rivaling some of the biggest matches of the last decade. The matchup adds even more interest. Both fighters are aggressive, fast, and capable of stopping a fight with one shot. It would be a true old lion versus young king moment. And whether it's a passing of the torch or one last message from a legend, the drama and stakes would besky high. Max Kellerman makes a compelling case that Manny Pacquiao deserves serious consideration as the best pound-for-pound fighter in boxing history, while he concedes that Sugar Ray Robinson is usually regarded as the gold standard, praised for his unmatched skill, dominance, and longevity. Kellerman argues that Pacquiao's unique resume sets him apart in its own right. Kellerman highlights that evaluating greatness hangs on the criterias peak dominance versus overall career results. If you value sheer power at a fighter's peak, Robinson may edge out the competition. But if you're weighing total accomplishments over an entire career, Pacquiao's record becomes tough to ignore. He is the only boxer in history to win world titles in 8 different weight classes, an unprecedented feat. Not only did Pacquiao compete across a wide range of weight classes, but he also defeated elite opponents in nearly all of them, often moving up in weight and still keeping his speed, power, and effectiveness. Kellerman also emphasizes Pacquiao's longevity and adaptability, noting that he stayed competitive and dangerous into his 40s, something very few fighters have achieved at the championship level. In the end, while Robinson may still hold the crown for many, Kellerman insists that Pacquiao's body of work wins him a legitimate place in that conversation.
Also has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. Think about, by the way, I don't think he wins that argument. Sugar Ray Robinson is safely ensconced in that position. But Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, Harry Greb, Sam Langford, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, whoever else you want to mention. Put Pacquiao's resume up to those guys.
Manny Pacquiao's peak as a boxer is widely considered to be during his run between 140 and 147 LABs, a time in which he delivered some of the most dominant performances of his career. His mix of speed, power, and relentless aggression overwhelmed opponents who were naturally bigger, further amplifying his legend. This stretch also corresponded with The peak public demand for a super fight between Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, as both fighters were at the top of their games in the same weight class. Boxing analysts point out that while he personally leaned toward Mayweather in a hypothetical fight, citing Floyd's natural size advantage and unmatched defensive skills, Pacquiao's ability to move up in weight while still taking on world-class opponents made his pound-for-pound case incredibly strong. Unlike many fighters who lose effectiveness when changing weight classes, Pacquiao remained explosive and competitive even against naturally larger foes. His achievements across 8 weight divisions, especially during his 140 to 147 lb reign, showcased his rare versatility and resilience, making him one of the most successful and respected fighters in the history of the sport. What do you think about Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring at 46? Is this a smart move from a boxing legend with more to prove, or should he protect his reputation and health?